Welcome back. Something modern today, but with the history. So this is the knife which I recently got, one of my latest additions to the collection, and it's something special. So it's called AMARE Knives Creator. That's the name of the model. AMARE Knives is like a design studio which creates this knife, but they say it's a collaboration with Real Steel Knives. So Real Steel Knives makes them, AMARE designs them, but on top of that, it's a specific designer who made this knife. It's Tashi Barucha design. So this knife is available through mass drop, and I got it, but I did not really need this knife. I'll tell you why I got it. Because I think there's a very interesting history behind this specific design, and I guess it kind of fits my collection, fits my specific purpose of collecting knives and learning what's behind their history. So a few words about the knife itself. It's huge. You can see it's absolutely huge, and it's I don't know exactly why this was designed of this size. I think even with all of these construction elements, it can be done smaller. So we're looking at like a multiple holding options like this. Like this probably wouldn't be too good because it's a slip joint. There's no lock. There's a detent in here. There's like a detent in here. I guess there's an integrated internal stop pin inside the cutout at the back of the blade, be like behind the pivot, which is fine. It's a nice pivot. It's okay. Some people say it's designed to be a kitchen knife, so it will be good to work on the table or the cutting board with this knife. I'd say not really. I tried to cut something with this. It cuts. It has a relatively thin grind for the blade with a little bit thicker spine. Steel is good. It's VG10. And speaking about the marks, steel type number here, but I've seen online that people have numbers even like a higher. Mine is 174. I've seen like a 300s, 200 something, so I don't think it's sequential. It's maybe within a batch or something like that. Not much going on this knife. There's no clip for the pocket. It is pretty big for the pocket. So yes, I think the main purpose of this knife is to be a larger knife for all kinds of tasks, but you gotta carry it with you in a bag, something like that, or in a backpack, or in like a larger pocket with something else, because the knife itself is pretty good from execution and quality point of view. But we're talking about the design, and what do we see here from a design, and I'll give you a couple of comparison options here. So when I saw it on the pictures, I kind of immediately recognized it. I think the inspiration of this design comes for Tashi Barucha from Spain and from one of the regional Spanish traditional knives. And I have one, actually. I got one when I was in Spain, in Barcelona. This is the knife. This is called Payaris. It says it's a maker. Payaris Solsona. I think Solsona is the town outside of Barcelona in that area. And they still make kitchen knives, traditional knives, utility knives, some other tools. It's one of the makers, knife makers in Spain, and it is specific to Barcelona region. And this design of the knife is traditional knife design for that region. So it's called Navaja Busa. I'm not sure about the stress here. It's Navaja Busa or Busa. Specific type of Navaja, Spanish Navaja knife. This one. And I think this specific design is the inspiration for Tashi Barucha to create this knife, because you see what you're getting here. You're getting very distinctive curved handle, like all Navaja Busa has, which has two main portions, like a straighter one and then the curved one, with a little bit of the kind of expansion at the back. So it's pretty good in the hand. Have very similar thing here. So again, the belly, the main belly of the handle is around this area. Similar here, a little bit narrow in the beginning, main belly of the handle in the middle, then it curves with a little bit of expansion towards the end. Here, on this one, I don't have any specific grinds or profile on the top of the knife. Here it is some, which makes it a little bit better in the hand, and you can feel the end of the knife kind of with your pinky very well, which is good. Here you just feel the end with your pinky when it expands a little bit more here. So handle design and the blade design here. So typically Navaja Busa has this style of like a leaf shaped blade, and it's very convenient for many utilitarian tasks. It's even if you want to cut something, you have this little bit of a curvature, you have a kind of like a straighter portion here if you want to do some precise work, and if you want to use it for something else, like you have this wider portion of the blade where you can again use it differently, and then you have a good tip. And because this is like a leaf shaped blade with this angle, you still can kite quite efficiently with this knife towards the table or cutting board. For not for the food prep, it's probably too small, but for some of this small utility or pairing kind of style tasks here, same here. This tip is very convenient on the board, but tip not the heel, of course. That's why it's not exactly a kitchen knife design. So this is my take on this knife. So it's a modern knife. It's pretty big, so I don't know if I would recommend for someone who doesn't really need a super big folding knife. But taking the overall idea that Navajas can be big, not the Navaja Busa, but different Navajas, then I get it, right? So finally, towards the end of this video, I'll give you one more comparison of the knives, and you'll understand why. So traditional Navaja Busa, modern Tashi Baruchi vision on that Navaja Busa in form of AMARE Creator slip joint knife. Typical Navaja, generic Navaja from a souvenir shop. It's a very cheap knife, it's cheaply made, but it just represents the form of one of the forms of traditional Navajas from Spain, from different region, of course. I think this is called Navaja Bandoliera, something from Albacete region. Again, we will see a curved handle with this specific curvature and the like a pommel at the end. We'll see like a clip point style blade. There are different styles, by the way, don't get me wrong here. I will do a better video on all kinds of Navajas, all kinds of, I have few, so we'll talk about Navajas and their modern implementation and so on. And then for today, just one more last knife. This is Tashi Barucha design of the knife itself is called Riater Starboy. So Riater is the maker, Starboy, Stardust, I don't remember. Again, Tashi Baruchi design, very expensive knife, modern folder, but look at this. It is modern Navaja. One of several modern Navajas which you can find by Cold Steel, by some other makers, even Spyderco did like a Navaja style knife. But I think you get the pattern. Tashi Baruchi design and inspiration for this design. Tashi Baruchi design, inspiration for this design. All right, what do you think? Do you agree? If ever Tashi Baruchi will see this video, will see those knives in one picture, what would he say? Yes, that's right. I mean, don't get me wrong again. I'm not criticizing Dashi Barucha for this. Absolutely, I am very happy, very happy that traditional designs, those ideas behind those knives, how they were intended to be used, where they come from, they get the modern implementation. So I really love this knife. It's very good. So if you would show this knife to the guys who still make those, say like, this is how you need to do modern navajas. That's what I like. I like all of those modern design, modern construction principles, modern ways to do the knives, steels, good materials, execution, to be taking all of those traditional historical ideas and making them into our everyday life, because that's our history, but what keeps us remembering the history and hopefully doing something better for the future. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you like this very simple comparison, straightforward, and we'll talk about navajas, all kinds of navajas later. I'm still building my collection of them. Thank you. Bye.